Good afternoon, baseball. Beautiful downtown Chugiak. We are so glad you're here today as the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks take on Anchorage. It promises to be a day of action. For the visiting Bucs. Batting first, number 1, for batting second, 26th, the designated hitter, Chad Castillo. Batting 7, right paw. Batting fourth, number 20, Ryan Sullivan. Batting fifth, break. Batting seventh, number 7, Tate. Batting number 14, the shortstop, the starting pitcher, Bucs number 23, Liam Henry. The Bucs head coach, Grant Palmer. The Bucs head coach, baseball time. Yeah. Batting second, number 8. Our national anthem today. Let's welcome the lead Jordan, Mr. Doug. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, hello and welcome out to Lee Jordan Field, home of the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, and they're facing off against the Anchorage Bucs here at home. 3 home games in a row before we take off on the road to Kenai and face the Oilers 6 games. Right now, the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks are 1-1. They won their first game 10-2 against the Miners, and then a 14-inning game loss to the Pilots 2 days ago, 3-1 in 14 innings. An incredible game, but 2 days of rest for this team, and now they're back on the road. Now they're back at home, and Anchorage Bucs come in at 3-1 as they've won the last 2 games, both games of a doubleheader yesterday against the Miners, a 3-2 victory and a 2-1 victory. I'm Josh Salem. I'm joined with Wyatt Wewell. He's going to be doing stats today, and eventually we'll get him on this summer to broadcast with you. We'll give you the starting lineups here momentarily, but first we're going to listen to what the head coach for the Chinooks said before the game. That is Coach John Groth. Tune into this. With the head coach for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, John Groth. And Coach Groth, what are you looking for from your players today?
Well, we've had a couple of off days in a row. One, we had a rain-shortened workout Friday, meet the Chinooks night. That was awesome. Our guys got to meet a lot of Booster Club members, and obviously the host families were there. And that's always one of the highlights of the early part of the season for us. So, and then yesterday, a lot of you guys got to go out and do some fishing, and you were among them. Got the big catch yesterday. So a lot of them got to experience their first little taste of Alaska. And so that's kind of cool, but it's back at work today. The Bucs are off to a good start, so we'll need to jump on them quick for sure.
And that is what Coach Groth said as we are getting underway here. Swing and a miss, strike three for Isaac Barrera, the left fielder, as he goes down on 3 straight pitches from the left-hander Zach Sundin. Starting today, and Zach pitched in game 1. Struggled a little bit, but he's ready to go here and gets the strikeout to start off the game. The starting lineup for the Anchorage Bucs, Isaac Barrera just struck out. He's the left fielder leading off. Chad Castillo, the designated hitter, steps in for lefty-on-lefty matchup with Sundin here, as Sundin will throw the ball 1 off of the plate. Batting third, Blake Poe, the right fielder. In the 4th spot is Ryan Sullivan at first base. The catcher, Shane Marshall, in the 5th spot. In the 6th spot is Justin Vandebrake, the center fielder. Cole Tate, the third baseman, batting 7th. Braxton Borfin, the second baseman, batting 8th. And cleaning up the lineup is the shortstop, Taishi Nakawaki. The Bucs are coached by Grant Palmer, the head coach, and that's going to be hit off the middle of the bat on the line drive to Mason Corbett at second base, so 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up Blake Poe. Blake Poe, the right fielder. And Blake is from Scottsdale, Arizona, the 6'2", 215 sophomore plays at the University of Arizona. He'll step into the right-hander's batter's box and get ready to go here. His first pitch is strike 1 on the lower third. Not throwing Johnny Holstaff today. He spoke with Coach Groth before the game, and after the first 2 games, just getting everybody some work in on the mound. Gonna try and stick with Zach for the majority of the day. Blake, a .333 average in 4 games that he's played so far. All 4 games is at the curveball in the outside corner, way ahead 1-2 count. Has 4 hits and 2 runs scored, including 2 home runs for Blake, 6 RBIs and 3 walks. He currently leads all of the ABL in home runs, but he'll strike out swinging here, so 2 strikeouts for Sundin, and we'll be back in a moment. The bottom of the first, as the Chinooks look to take the lead early in the ballgame. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinook Baseball. Well, we are back for the bottom of the first. It's a 0-0 ball game as Zach Sundin on the mound picked up 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Only gave up a line drive to second base, and that's the closest he came to giving up anything. But did a great job on the mound. The starting lineup for your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks: Just Davis leading things off as the center fielder. Batting second, Brandon Cody, the right fielder, just behind him. Batting third is the catcher, J. Paul Fullerton. In the fourth spot, Daniel Freeman at first base. Hayden Keller, the designated hitter today, also a left fielder and has been one of the hottest bats in the ABL as of late. Pate Fullerton batting sixth at shortstop, the brother of J. Paul Fullerton. Batting seventh, Mason Corbett at second base. Trevor Cho in left field is the eighth spot, and cleaning up the lineup is the third baseman, Joe Brazil. On the mound, Liam Henry, the pitcher for the Bucs, and he's up and ready to go as he'll have a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Jess Davis.
Coming to the plate for the Chinooks, number 22, Jeff Davis.
Jess Davis doing pretty well as well this season so far. Call it a season for the summer at least, as he awaits the first pitch for the bottom half of the first. Swung on, popped up down the left field line, and it's going to get up and out. Third baseman Cole Tate not going to be able to get to it. Check swing, but strike two on the fastball on the outside part of the plate. Going to have to battle here, put something in play with the speed of Jess Davis, the center fielder for the Chinooks. The windup begins again, and swung on, and going to be in the dirt. Good block. Throw down to first base for out number one as Davis goes down swinging. So both innings, both halves of the inning have started off with a strikeout swinging to get the lead off. It'll bring up Brandon Cody, the right fielder.
Now batting for your Chinooks, number 18, Brandon Cody.
And he'll take ball one as it's just a little low. The Glacier Pilots facing off against the Peninsula Oilers, I believe. Smashed in the left field off the end of the bat and directly at the left fielder as it'll be a line out to left for the second out of the inning. And Brandon Cody's been able to put the bat on ball hard throughout this season. Already just through 3 games. Has a 2-game hit streak coming into today. First pitch is low to J. Paul Fullerton. Fullerton in his second year and down here in the ABL and is coming out of UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham. Cap to the first baseman. Pitcher will come over and cover. And 3 up, 3 down go the Chinooks as it was fielded by Ryan Sullivan, and he just flips it on over to Liam Henry. Well, we're going to the second inning. It's 0-0 after the 6 straight outs in the ballgame.
We got more prizes to give away.
Brian Sullivan up to lead the second inning up, as he'll take strike one on the lower third. A good pitch from Zach Sundin. Picked up 2 Ks in the first inning. Sullivan, a 167 hitter so far in 3 games played, 12 at bats, and has 2 hits, 1 walk as well, and 3 strikeouts. Has grounded into a double play 1 time. Good block by J. Paul Fullerton. No one on base currently. A 1-1 count and no outs. Defensively for the Chinooks, it's Trevor Cho in left field and center Jess Davis. Right field is Brandon Cody, and the infield as well, as that's strike 2, swung on and missed. Joe Brazil at third base, Pate Fullerton at shortstop, Mason Corbett at second base, and Daniel Freeman at first. Behind the plate, J. Paul Fullerton, as well as on the mound, Zach Sundin. Check swing, up and in, and that'll force ball 2. 2-2 count, no outs. Sundin just finished up his senior year out at MSU Denver. Curveball on the outside part of the plate. Strike 3. Going to catch him looking, as that'll bring up Shane Marshall. Throughout the game as well, we will, between innings, be putting up some pictures and give you some stories on what the Chinooks players did over the break of 2 days. A lot of guys went fishing, climbed a few mountains yesterday. Not many get to see the mountains or go fishing. I actually have a pretty fun story as well, I like to think. A good experience I had yesterday with my host family. And so I'll let you know about that later. 2-0 count as Shane Marshall has the advantage here as the catcher for the Bucs. Marshall, 286 hitter, has played in 2 games, and 3-0 count. 2 hits and 7 at bats, 1 RBI, 1 hit by pitch, and 2 strikeouts. And that's a called ball, just missing off the plate, 4-pitch walk, as Marshall is the first base runner in the ball game. Justin Vanderbrake, the center fielder, up next. Vanderbrake, 250 hitter.
Now batting for the Bucs.
Has only played in 1 game, 4 at bats and 1 hit. Chinooks against the Glacier Pilots in that 14-inning ball game had 4 double plays, and they're looking for one here to get out of this inning. Ball 1, low and in. All 4 of those double plays actually came in regulation of pitching, not extra innings. And that's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 count, 1 out. Still a 0-0 ball game. Middle infielders playing in double play depth. Trevor Cho shading in left field a little bit closer to the line. And cap down at the third baseline, foul. Just outside the dugout of the third base side where the Chinooks are residing. Today the Chinooks rocking their red jerseys with navy and red hats and white pants. A couple players like Sundin with the stirrups, while the Bucs are sporting their gold lettering with black jerseys and gray pants. Pickoff attempt over to first base. Daniel Freeman will catch that just a few feet above his head, and no tag laid down as Marshall goes back in standing up. 1-2 count. The delivery home, and that's going to be laced into left field for a base hit. Show on it. We'll get it in. Just left the curveball a little bit up and towards the inner half of the plate, but a good swing by Vanderbrake as he picks up his second hit of the season. Cole Tate up next, the third baseman.
Batting for the Bucs, number 7.
Tate, a 250 hitter as well as Vanderbrake was, and he's played in 3 games, 2 hits and 8 at bats, 3 runs scored, 1 home run, 3 RBIs and 3 walks. Huss struck out 1 time, and off the end of the bat to shallow center field, and that's going to be caught by Jess Davis as he read it the whole way. Going to get it in. And so the second out is made with the runners on first and second. Braxton Borfin, the second baseman, up next.
Number 14, Braxton Borfin.
3 of the 4 infielders are playing, hitting in those 7, 8, 9 spots as Tate lines out the center. Borfin's still in 3 games, has 1 hit, and that's in his 9 at bats, a 111 hitter. 1 run scored, 2 walks forced, but 4 strikeouts. Curveball, just missing low, ties the count up at 1-1. Chinooks looking for 1 more out. And fouled up and out of play over the first base dugout. Advantage count, 1-2, 2 outs. Strike 3 as he chases through it, just trying to foul it off. So the Chinooks will strand 2 of the Bucs as Zach Sunding gives up 1 walk and 1 single to left field off the bat of Justin Vandebrake, but he's able to pick up 2 more strikeouts. He's up to 4 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Still a 0-0 ball game.
It's a 0-0 ball game. Now let's award those Twins on a gift card. To the plate for your Chinooks, number 44, Daniel Freeman.
4, 5, 6 hitters, Daniel Freeman, Hayden Keller, and Pate Fullerton, first baseman, designated hitter, and shortstop respectively, facing off against the left-hander Liam Henry. Smashed down the left field line, and it's going to go way foul just for a long strike. Daniel Freeman, a 2-game hit streak, and the second best average on the team, 375 hitter. Going to swing through that. Played in 2 games, 8 at bats, 3 hits in those 8 at bats, 1 double, as well as 3 RBIs, 2 hit by pitches. He was leading the league in hit by pitches. Off the end of the bat to the shortstop, Taishi Nakawaki. The pick at first, in and out of the glove. That's going to be an error by Nakawaki, as the first base runner for the Chinooks is on base. Daniel Freeman will reach by error. Nakawaki just had all the time in the world to get it over there, and he just short-armed it. A sophomore from Torrance, California. Lefty on lefty matchup, ground ball to the left side. Nakawaki fields it. Throw to second, throw to first, and he saved it first. Hayden Keller able to beat out and avoid the ground ball double play on the first pitch he sees. So it'll just be a 6-4 fielder's choice. Brings up Pate Fullerton, the shortstop, with a runner on first. Fullerton steps in for a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Quite a few left-handers on this team for the Chinooks. The first pitch here is taken on the lower third and inside for strike 1. Fullerton played in 2 games. He's 1 for 5 so far with a run scored. That was in the minors. He only had 1 at bat in the last game, And a strike called on the outside part of the plate. 0-2. Gonna have to battle. Keller has speed. Couple looks and the delivery home. Runner going. The throw down to second is going to be tipped off the left side as it's going to be a stolen base to put Hayden Keller in scoring position. The throw from the catcher, Shane Marshall, just wide to the left side of the bag, and Taishi Nakawashi covering, unable to handle it. There's going to be a close play, and that's upstairs on the curveball that breaks late. 2-2 count, 1 out. Pate Fullerton looking for a base hit, maybe something to right field that gets through the 3-hole between first and second. Stepping off, Liam Henry wants to reset, regroup. Got to put something in play here for Fullerton. The delivery. A check swing, and umpire behind the plate says that he did go around. Need an appeal down that third baseline, but instead goes for a strikeout, and so the second out of the inning with a runner in scoring position brings up Mason Corbett. Mason Corbett, the best batting average on the team, 429 hitter, has 3 hits and 7 at bats. His first pitch is ball 1 upstairs. Has scored a run, reached twice by walks. The middle infielder from Texas A&M University. A few guys from Texas A&M on the individual 5 teams up here. Off the plate, ball 2. Advantage count for Corbett. Hit a hard single in the past game against the Glacier Pilots that put a runner in scoring position, and ultimately that one runner came across to score and send it into extras. Big swing, long swing, and that'll be the first strike of the at-bat. The Aggies of Texas A&M knocked out of the contention for College World Series of the past few games, in the past few days, and 3-1 count here, 2 outs. Trevor Cho, a left-hander, on deck as well. Six of the 9 hitters are left-handed for the Chinooks. And ball 4. That'll bring up Trevor Cho as Mason Corbett reaches again via walk and picks up his 3rd walk. Trevor Cho with runners on first and second. Same situation we saw in the first half of the inning. Now Cho looking to drive in some runs. First pitch popped up into shallow center field. Taishi Nakawaki is on it. Will make the catch. And so that'll be the 3rd and final out. The Chinooks strand 2. We're moving to the 3rd inning. And when we come back, maybe a little bit earlier, we'll give you one of the stories of some of the Chinooks players had yesterday. We'll be back in a moment. This is Chinooks Baseball. Well, we're going to tell you a little bit about one of the stories that happened as we are getting ready to begin this third inning. It was Tyler O'Clair in the middle, as you can see there, and Patty McCormick on the right. On the left, Troy Hervey. Those three guys went out and went hiking and saw some guys trying to catch fish. Didn't have any luck. It was about 4 hours away, I believe, and just spent their off day yesterday trying to watch people fish, and those guys went netting trying to catch some salmon in the streams and just couldn't do it. No fisherman was successful. So that's what those three guys did yesterday, and throughout the rest of this game, we'll be giving you some pictures and let you know what the guys were up to on their off day. Next up is going to be 9-1-2. It's Taishi Nakawaki who made the final out of the last inning. Zach Sundin still on the mound and is averaging 2 strikeouts each inning. Bunt shown, pulled back, strike one on the outside part of the plate. Nakawaki coming out of El Camino Community College in his sophomore year. 5'10" native of Torrance, California. And just an inch outside, off the corner of the plate. 1-1 count, no outs. Still a 0-0 ball game. As that'll work in strike two on the pitch. A good pitch from Zach Sundin. Both teams knocking on the door last inning as the fastball misses away. Little arm side run from Sundin. And couldn't capitalize, get their runners in from second base. Still a 0-0 ball game. And here at Lee Jordan Field, that'll be strike three. Looking on the inside part of the plate. So the 5th strikeout for Sundin against Taishi Nakawaki brings up Isaac Barrera and moves Chad Castillo on deck. And Barrera struck out swinging on 3 straight pitches in his first at bat.
Batting for the Bucs, number 1, Isaac Barrera.
First pitch here is strike one on the outer part of the plate. Off the end of the bat, down the left field line, looping away from Trevor Cho in left field, and that'll fall just near the bullpen down the line, and will force the second strike across. 0-2 count, 1 out. Ground ball to Pate Fullerton. He'll field it, throw across, and get Isaac Barrera off the 2-hopper, and so the second out made. Good job by the Chinooks. Brings up Chad Castillo, who lined out to second base in his first at bat.
Batting for the Bucs, number 26, Chad Castillo.
Struck out Taishi Nakawaki to lead off the inning, and a ground ball here to short, up and in, and that would be ball 1 to Chad Castillo. Wind up for the left-on-lefty matchup, and just a little low and outside. Fullerton behind the plate, trying to frame it. And ball 3. Left-hander's batter's box is currently where Castillo is at, and a few lefties on this team. Tomorrow, the Chinooks will play the Oilers as they come up here before strike one there on the outside corner. Before the Chinooks travel on Wednesday to face the Oilers for 6 straight games. It's the 12th, 13th, 14th, 2 on the 15th, and the 16th. Ground ball to Mason Corbett. This could end the inning. He'll field it, throw across to first base. 3 up, 3 down, go the Bucs. And so the offense coming back out when we come back with the Chinooks. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball.
Wednesday, the Chinooks are celebrating the
Quick update for you. The Oilers are currently leading the Pilots 2-0 in the second inning. Just picked up 2 runs. And Zach Sundin has picked up 5 strikeouts in 3 innings of pitching, only giving up 1 hit and 2 walks. Excuse me, and 1 walk. And was perfect the last inning. Right now, the Chinooks will have 9-1-2 up. Joe Brazil, Jess Davis, Brandon Cody, 3 batters up this inning. And Brazil's first at bat is the third baseman for the Chinooks today. Brazil picked up a hit in his first at bat as a Chinook, but since then he's looking for his second in 11 at bats. Has played in all 3 games, this being the third, and has 2 strikeouts. He'll take strike 1 on the outer half from the left-hander Liam Henry. Next pitch is capped foul off of the plate. It'll roll our direction right back to the screen behind home plate, and Brandon Cody over to retrieve it. Cody has typically been the leadoff, and instead it'll be strike 3 against Joe Brazil as he chases the high fastball for the first out of the inning. Good pitch from Liam Henry. Brings up the left-hander Jess Davis, who struck out chasing a curveball in the first. That is the 3rd strikeout for Henry. He's averaging 1 per inning. And the second time he has led off an inning with a strikeout. Curveball, first pitch, strike 1. Wind up in the pitch, and it's a ground ball at the middle. The play from the second baseman, throw across, and he's safe at first base. That's a base hit, the first hit of the ball game for the Chinooks, as it was fielded by Braxton Borfin. Threw across his body. Was going to be an amazing play, but the speed of Jess Davis puts him safely at first base. Brandon Cody up next. He smashed one into left field, but directly at Isaac Barrera for out number 1. We have seen a stolen base today by Hayden Keller just last inning, and now the Chinooks would like to get in scoring position here for Brandon Cody and the heart of their order up. First pitch and caught out in front for strike 1. Not where Liam Henry wanted to throw that. Liam Henry, wanted to throw that. Henry, a freshman at the University of Arkansas as a Razorback. Smashed down the left field line, tailing foul again. The Razorbacks are still fighting in that for a chance to play at Omaha. Get through the Super Regional. Haven't seen a pickoff today, and we're going to see one right here. Thrown low on the nice and easy pickoff move by Henry. Jess Davis singling to second base, just up the middle, and uses his speed to reach. Brandon Cody, 0-2 count against him, 1 out. Next pitch, runner not going. The appeal down to first base, and Jess Davis holding himself up. Draws a throw from the catcher Shane Marshall, but he'll stay put as he retreats back to position. Ball 1 was at the eye level of Cody. The next pitch, taken for ball 2 off the plate. Big gap between first and second if Cody can work to right field here. And the 2-2 pitch. Curveball missing high. Work the count full. Left-hander Henry thought it was strike 3. Instead, it was not. We've seen that pitch not called for a strike so far in the game because it's a curveball that breaks over the plate high. Good call from the home plate umpire. It's been working for both teams. Next pitch is foul tipped into the glove of the catcher, and so Brandon Cody will strike out swinging. Brings up J. Paul Fullerton. And now the 4th strikeout for Henry. Lefty on lefty matchup. Rolled over to 1 to the first baseman, Sullivan in the first inning. Pickoff attempt over, sends Davis standing back up on first base. And another, Jess Davis still going. He's going to take off for second. He slides back in, and he's safe with the stolen base. That's the speed of Jess Davis for you, going first movement, even hesitated for a second. And so Jess Davis with the second stolen base here, and we got to mention it. He was in second place in the NCAA for stolen bases this past year at UAB with 4. And up and inside for ball 1. See if J. Paul Fullerton a 1-0 count, advantage here, 2 outs, trying to produce a base hit that would bring in the first run and send the Chinooks with the lead. Off the plate and low, ball 2. Again, 48 stolen bases this past year. Swung on, it's going to be right into the diving glove of Sullivan at first base. Robbed the go-ahead run from coming in, and so a good swing from Fullerton will send the third out into the glove of Sullivan, a great diving snag, and that's the third and final out. So we go to the top of the 4th inning. It's a 0-0 ball game. Both teams with a hit. Sundin and the Chinooks come back out. Well, if you look at this next picture a bunch of players on the Chinooks went and hiked Bear Mountain, and it's not an easy hike nonetheless. A few guys have to get on their hands and knees just to climb up, but they were able to do it. That's them standing at the top, and a pretty good picture. About 13 of them, 14 of them able to do that. So that's what some of the guys spent from hiking and fishing. That's what those guys did yesterday. So that's one of the pictures of Bear Mountain right there. It's actually, you can see it if you look out in right center. That's Bear Mountain for you. And pretty cool. As we're going to start the top of the 4th inning, a 0-0 ball game, as J. Paul Fullerton just lined out to first base, a diving stab by Sullivan to save a run, and the Chinooks would have taken the lead. But here it's popped up on the first base side, going over Daniel Freeman, and the second baseman Mason Corbett going to call off Freeman for out number 1. So 1 pitch swinging, 1 pitch out for Blake Poe. Just a skied fly ball to second base down that right field line. Good job by Corbett to get over. Ryan Sullivan up next, the first baseman. Ryan coming out of Aurora, Colorado in his junior year, plays at Gonzaga University, and he'll swing through the first pitch. 6'5", 225 frame, and he needed all of it to rob Fullerton of a base hit back in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 count as Sundin tails a fastball away in the left-hander's batter's box. 1 out already in the inning. It was a first pitch skied pop fly. Laced to left field. Trevor Cho going back. It's going to spin him around a little bit, as that'll be extra bases for Sullivan. He goes trotting into second base, and the first extra base hit, second hit for the Bucs that we've seen today. Sullivan doubling to deep left field. Ball just tailing away from Trevor Cho. Thought it was going to his left and got wrapped around a little bit. Two hop the wall, and that'll bring up the 5-hole. Shane Marshall, who walked as the catcher back in the second inning. His first pitch is a curveball swung on, scooped up in the dirt. 0-1 count, 1 out. Dirty pitch from Sundin, and a great block behind the plate as well by Fullerton. Mason Corbett working with Sullivan out at second base. Gonna have to check him, throw to first. And that pitch just missing low. 1-1 count. Haven't seen the lower third of the strike zone really called much today, but the outside corner has. And that's a curveball to paint the outside corner. I'd go back with it. Most you're going to get out of it's a poke down the first baseline. Maybe try and change eye levels, go with a fastball here. 1-2 count, 1 out. Sullivan staying put at second base. Curveball, and the appeal to first base side, he did not go around. It looked to be almost the same pitch, trying to get a called strike. Instead, 2-2 count, 1 out. Chinooks coached by John Groth. Time called from the home plate umpire as Marshall wants to step out, regroup. And that'll work a full count as the fastball just misses. Shane Marshall, one of 3 catchers on the team for the Bucs. Victor Kearney, as well as Caden Hobson, the other 2. The full count pitch, swung on, strike 3. Gets him to bite on the curveball. That would have been strike 3 anyways, and there's a strikeout, the first of the inning. Second out in the inning. Ryan Sullivan's double out at second base in scoring position. That'll bring up Justin Vanderbrake, who singled in his first at bat on a line drive to left field. Great pitch from Sundin just to force a curveball in there. And now with 2 outs, Sundin throwing one there, and Vanderbrake wanted all of it. But instead, he'll get underneath it and swing through. Strike 1. Missing low and inside. It'll tie the count up at 1-1. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Doesn't get much better than this. Got people climbing up the hill in left center field, but still waiting for our flyby today. Haven't seen one at the games just yet. Coming set is Sundin. Delivery home. Curveball and big break will force strike 2 from Vanderbrake. And now Sundin hunting a 7th strikeout. Can he get it to end this inning and strand a runner? Waiting on deck is third baseman Cole Tate, who lined out to center field in his first at bat. The delivery home. Strike 3 will get him swinging. So 2 strikeouts in the inning, 1 double from Sullivan. He's stranded with 1 out. And so we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 0-0. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Daniel Freeman, Hayden Keller, Pate Fullerton, the three batters up, facing off against Liam Henry, a left-hander from the Razorbacks out in the University of Arkansas. First pitch here to Freeman, and a check swing. He did go around, strike one. Was expecting fastball and swung through the off-speed there, just trying to hold up his swing. 0-1 pitch. Curveball, strike two. Freeman reached with a error to the shortstop on the two-hopper to Taishi Nakawaki back in the second. And now Freeman battling at the plate here down in the count. Chokes up on his swing, check swing. He did not go around. It's almost one of those where you maybe want to go around because the ball goes to the backstop. You can maybe beat it out at first. So a 1-2 count, first ball of the at-bat. Daniel Freeman, the junior out of Columbia State Community College, ball too low. So far, Liam Henry, 4 strikeouts in the ball game through 3 innings. 2 last inning was his best inning. Gave up 1 hit, though, in the first hit of the ball game to the Chinooks, Jess Davis. 2-2 counts. Swung on and just got a piece of it past the pitching coach, Chris Beck, at the third base side. A couple of pitchers going down, as it was Michael Barker ultimately who retrieved it. Swung on and going to get a piece of it to shallow right field. Coming in is the right fielder, Blake Poe, and he'll make the catch. So the first out is made, and I think Freeman might have chased a ball there, but can't change it now. It brings up Hayden Keller, who reached base and stole a base back in the second inning. He had a ground ball and beat out the double play attempt on a 6-4 fielder's choice. He'll take ball 1 to start off this at-bat. One out in the inning. Swung on and hit down the first base line, and going to go foul. One of the pitchers for the Bucs comes out a step away from the fence and makes the grab, kind of hopping around down there. About a 20-minute drive for the Anchorage Bucs to come play here. Scooped up in the dirt, notches off the chest protector, and a 2-1 count for Hayden Keller. Keller, the MVP of Game 1 against the Miners in that 10-2 victory, had his first home run and pops it up on the left side of the field. Going to get out of play and bounce off the third base dugout. He went 3 for 4 with 2 singles, a home run, a 2-run shot, and then 3 RBIs that day. Two count, 1 out. And the windup here from Liam Henry. Ball 3, full count worked. Well, it was in the past game against the Pilots, where in the 13th inning, the bottom of that inning, a line drive hit to left field with 2 outs, a runner on second base, would have won the game, but that's laced into right center field for a base hit. Hustling hard and heading for second base. Going to be a close play, but a double for Hayden Keller. So that is the first extra base hit we've seen as well. And it's inning after inning. The Bucs and the Chinooks are doing the exact same thing as in the 4th inning with 1 out. Ryan Sullivan, top of this inning, Ryan Sullivan doubled to left field. And here, Hayden Keller doubles. Hustling 2 out of the box and just continues to see that average climb and hitting the ball hard everywhere. Pate Fullerton, a strikeout in his first at-bat. He's going to swing through the first pitch here and cap it foul. Runner in scoring position, 1 out for Mason Corbett and Pate Fullerton, the next 2 batters up. John Groth, the head coach, down the third base line, as well as at first base, Dalton Smith, the assistant coach for the Chinooks. Next pitch to Fullerton is an inside move Must have barely cleared the back of the rubber. I thought that the pitcher actually just picked up and put it straight back down for a second. His foot didn't look like it actually went behind him. The delivery home. Curveball. Check swing. Didn't matter as it was strike 2 on the curveball anyways. Fullerton looking to put something in play here. Maybe work something to the left side of the field. Umpire yelling at Trevor Cho to get back in the dugout as he was maybe a cleat out of the dugout. The 0-2 pitch awaiting. And scooped up in the dirt. Good job behind the plate by Shane Marshall. It's a little easier to pick it out of the turf as opposed to just block. You can do that here, and on dirt, you really can't do that. And foul tip directly at us, and you can see it right at the camera as it shook y'all up a little bit. Mason Corbett over to retrieve it. We'll get y'all fixed right here and get ready to go again. So if you weren't awake watching the screen there and you saw the foul ball, you are now. And going to strike out swinging as it's chased, so Pete Fullerton goes down swinging there. 2 outs in the inning. We'll try and play around with it a little bit more. Our camera right here behind home plate. Mason Corbett here with 2 outs as Fullerton goes down swinging. Now a lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Mason Corbett. Corbett taking. He walked in his first at bat. Ball 1 off the plate. Five strikeouts now for Liam Henry. 7 for Zach Sundin. The next pitch. Hit hard to left center field, but a pop up to center. He'll make the catch, which is Vanderbrake. And so the 3rd out, the 1-out double by Hayden Keller is stranded. Trevor Cho and Joe Brazil will be up next in the bottom half of that inning. But we go to the top, and it'll be Colte, Braxton Borfin, and Taishi Nakawaki, the 7, 8, 9 hitters. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Well, some of the players also, as we get ready to begin this 5th inning, they went and hiked Baldy yesterday, Baldy Mountain, and that's Jake Collins on the left, as well as Sam Brace, the second player from the left, Dalton Smith, the assistant coach, in the middle, and Michael and Corbin Barker, the 2 brothers. Michael Barker is the second from the right, and then Corbin, his brother, is on the right. And Michael, the older of the 2, has been here for 2 years, this being his 2nd year playing in the ABL. So those guys able to hike Baldy Mountain. I mentioned the other guys earlier who hiked Baldy Mountain, and then some other fishers. Now we're in the top of the 5th. It's Zach Sundin on the mound. Little action warming up in the bullpen as well. It's the first batter up here, the 7-hole. Takes curveball for strike 1. Colte. Braxton Borfin, and second baseman, will be up next. He's on deck, and then Taishi Nakawaki up 3rd. Low and inside on the fastball. It'll tie the count up at 1-1 here with no outs. A 0-0 ball game. Both teams have 2 hits, and both picked up a double just last inning. Hit hard to center field. Just Davis, a few high knee steps back to his right and will make the catch. Good swing from Cole Tate, but he flies out to center field. Second time that the ball has been hit to center from the bat of Cole Tate. He lined out to center in the second. Struck out swinging in the second for Braxton Borfin. He's up next as he steps in. Just chased a curveball. Curveball here to start off the at-bat and strike one. Borfin looking for a second hit. Every batter for the Bucs who has played in the ABL so far has a base hit. But Borfin, one of the four that only has one. So all the hitters for the 4 games played have been found with a hit. And it was the opener for the Bucs was an 11-1, I believe, was the score victory. And strike 3. Good block by Fullerton, as it'll be the second out, of the inning. First strikeout this inning. And Zach Sundin's 8th strikeout is the second of the inning. Brings up Taishi Nakawaki, who struck out looking back in the third. Nakawaki, the shortstop for the Bucs, takes ball 1 upstairs and on the outside corner. Temperature continuing to rise here, as that's popped up just in fair territory on the right side. Daniel Freeman, a few steps in foul territory, and will make the catch. 3 up, 3 down go the Bucs. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball for the top of the 5th.
Number 9, Trevor Cho.
Trevor Cho to lead things off, and Joe Brazil up next. Jess Davis, the leadoff, would come around for his 3rd time through. He'll be the 3rd batter up against the left-hander Liam Henry. First pitch here is low for ball 1. Looked to be a 2-seam that tailed back in and just missed. 5 strikeouts for Liam Henry. He has given up 2 hits. One last inning was the double off the bat of Hayden Keller. The first, a single from Just Davis 2 innings ago. Ball 2 is off the plate. Trevor Cho, in his first at bat, was a fly out to the shortstop, Taishi Nakawaki. Every chance I get to say Taishi Nakawaki for the Bucs is a chance that I'm going to take. 3-0 pitch as it misses low. Pretty good crowd here on the 2 o'clock start time. It's been just an hour and 4 minutes. And that'll be a strike on the inner half. Trevor Cho coming out of Wisconsin Whitewater School and swinging through it will force a full count. The senior from the hometown in Wisconsin at Maquon. And just a piece of it to foul it back. Stands filling up here on this nice, beautiful Sunday here in Chugiak. Curveball, ball 4. So for the first time, a leadoff has been on today for either team. Brings up Joe Brazil, the third baseman, struck out swinging on 3 pitches back in the third. Might see a bunt here as he's getting some signs from the head coach John Grove down the third baseline. Trevor Cho walking, trots down to first and coming set. Bunt shown, bunted down the first base line, and it's going to be bobbled by the pitcher, safe at first base. A tough play by the pitcher, Liam Henry, and so Joe Brazil safely will make it to first, and now runners on first and second for Jess Davis, the left-handed hitter. And that'll go as it was a questionable call. I would call that a hit, actually, and you know, it was a tough play by the pitcher, going across his body, the left-hander, Liam Henry, and it took a quick hop up and just hit him in the palm. And it would have been a close play for at first base as well for Joe Brazil. That one goes as a hit, so runners on first and second for Jess Davis up next. Jess Davis with speed. We've seen a bunt down. It's going to tail away. It's going to be a close play at first. The throw, and he's just out. Good job by Jess Davis, though, as Brandon Cody's up next. Runners on second and third on the sac bunt. Sac bunt moves over some runners. And Brandon Cody struck out in his last at bat, chased the fastball up, but lined out to left. He's trying to put something through the infield here. Infield's actually going to come in here in a 0-0 ball game. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Trevor Cho walked. He's at third base. And then the bunt single by Joe Brazil. Smashed to center field. Going back is Vanderbrake. Tagging Joe Brazil at second as well. 1 run is going to come in. The throw to third base. Joe Brazil moves up. And the sacrifice fly off the bat of Brandon Cody picks him up an RBI. And so that makes it a 1-0 ball game as Trevor Cho comes in to score. And now J. Paul Fullerton, who lined out to first base with a runner in scoring position, got robbed of that base hit, is up next. 2 outs. Pops it up on the infield. Taishi Nakawaki can't really see it. Vanderbrake coming in, calls him off, will make the catch for the third and final out. The Chinooks strand 1, but they get a run on the sac fly off the bat of Brandon Cody, and Trevor Cho comes in to score. We're moving to the top of the 6th inning. 5 full innings are done as it's a 1-0 lead for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks.
Now batting for the Bucs, number 1, Isaac Barrera.
Joey Levitt is in relief for Zach Sundin, and Zach pitched 5 full innings. As the first pitch here is ball 1 up and away to the top of the order with Isaac Barrera coming around for a third time now. Chad Castillo behind him, Blake Poe. And that's the off speed that falls in for strike 1. Lower half. Zach also finishing with 8 strikeouts, only giving up 2 hits, no runs scored, and 1 walk. Had a phenomenal outing. Off the end of the bat, up the middle, and that's a base hit. So that is the third hit for the Anchorage Bucs, and it comes as a single to center field. See if Chad Castillo is going to be bunting here on the sac bunt. We saw a sac bunt attempt turn into a base hit for Joe Brazil and move the runners up. Then Jess Davis moved him over last inning, and a sac fly from Brandon Cody brought in the RBI run. That has left it in the 1-0 ball game. No bunch shown on the easy pickoff attempt over to first base from Joey Brazil, or excuse me, from Joey Levitt. Joe Brazil at third base. He's playing a step behind the third base bag. And that's a strike on the outer half. Good leadoff pitch from Joey Levitt. Joey pitched 2 nights ago against the Glacier Pilots. Had a great outing. Gave up only 1 hit, no runs on the, there you can see a pickoff attempt as well, and had 2 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work. Chinooks up 1-0 after getting a run last inning. There's our flyover. Hit hard to left field. Trevor Cho over to get it. We'll throw it in, and 2 back-to-back hits as the ball is left over the middle of the plate. Right there, just left up, and a good swing by Chad Castillo. Now, same situation as we saw last inning. Runners on first and second, no outs for Blake Poe.
Batting for the Bucs, number 27, Blake Paul.
Blake Paul, in the first inning, struck out swinging. In the fourth, he flew out, and he's not bunting here. A pop out on the first base side. Daniel Freeman going over, as well as J. Paul Fullerton will not reach it. Paul has 6 RBIs in his 14 at-bats. 2 runs scored, 4 hits. Chinooks looking for a ground ball double play. Curveball, and that just misses. Tied the count up at 1-1. And so we've got no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. A 1-0 ball game. And that's going to be a called strike at the lower third of the strike zone. J. Paul Fullerton out to have a conversation with Joey. Wants to make sure they're on the same page, especially with Isaac Barrera out at second base. Chad Castillo at first. Both singled to start off the inning. Barrera to center field and Castillo to left. Joe Brazil playing a few steps back at third base. Middle infield playing in double play position. Daniel Freeman a few steps off the first base line. Curveball is foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3. Paul goes down again, swinging. And that'll bring up Ryan Sullivan, who struck out looking in the second and had a double in the fourth. Just crushed one to left field. Relatively no wind today. Levitt coming set. And the delivery home. Curveball and first pitch curveball Swinging was Sullivan. He'll foul tip it right back to the backstop. Sullivan picking up his first double in the ABL earlier, back in the 4th inning. The next pitch. Curveball again down the third base line, foul. Laying out and kicking it right up to a fan was Tyler O'Clair. Good catch by one of the fans down the third baseline. Never seen that happen right next to the bullpen. Literally slid, just kicked right off of his lower, maybe lower shin and popped up. Warming up in the bullpen for the Bucs. I actually can't tell you who it is because their numbering is not that. Back-to-back strikeouts for Joey Levitt as Sullivan chases away. Swinging. That is the 10th time that the Bucs have gone down swinging, just through 5 2/3 innings of play so far.
Number 15, Shane Marshall.
Shane Marshall, a strikeout in his last at bat, a walk in the second. He's up for a third time round. Levitt looking for one more out here. Curveball check swing. Did he go around? Is there going to be an appeal? He did not. No appeal by the home plate umpire. 1-0 count, 2 outs. Justin Vanderbrake on deck, the center fielder for the Bucs. And ball 2 is low and away. Need to be careful with his next pitch to Shane Marshall, the catcher. Has had 2 hits and picked up his first walk here in the ABL today. Smashes one, skies it to left field. Trevor Cho on it. He's going to run around a little bit, make the catch for the third and final out. So the leadoff 2 hits for the Bucs will be stranded. When we come back, it's 1-0. The Chinooks look to add to their lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Daniel Freeman to lead the bottom of the 6th inning off. It's 1-0. Currently, the Chinooks leading the Bucs. Entering into the bottom of the 6th. 9 outs for the Bucs to try and tie this ball game up, and the Chinooks trying to lengthen their lead after getting a run last inning on the sac fly from Brandon Cody with a runner on second and third. Trevor Cho coming in to score. Ball 1 is up and away from Cheney Rogers coming in relief for Liam Henry. Henry finished with 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 run, and 2 walks given up. And a ball 2 is up and away. Currently in the ballgame, it's 10 strikeouts for the Bucs, only 5 for the Chinooks. Next pitch is smashed to left field, going back to left fielder. He's on it, will make the catch. Daniel Freeman, a strong swing, but a great jump by the left fielder Isaac Barrera to chase it down. So it'll go as a line out for the first out. Just to left field. Good swing from Daniel.
Batting for your Chinooks, number 12, Hayden Keller.
Hayden Keller, a double in his last at bat off the left-hander Liam Henry, and just landed it perfectly in right center. Cheney Rogers, a sophomore from Ringgold, Georgia, and he plays at the University of Georgia. 3 guys on the team for the Bucs from the Bulldogs team. That is Cole Tate, Cheney Rogers, as well as one more Georgia Bulldog, the freshman Shane Marshall. Strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1. Most players on the most players from a single school is the University of Georgia for the Bucs with 3. 2 guys from University of Arkansas, which is Evan Taylor, as well as Liam Henry. A 2-2 count on the fastball that painted the outside corner. Beginning the windup again is Rogers. And chopped on a weak ground ball to the second baseman. He'll field it, flip it underhand over to first base, and Hayden Keller is retired and off the bases for the first time today. He had a 6-4 fielder's choice that put him on before he stole a base in the second, and then a double in the fourth.
At the plate for your Chinooks, number 7, Pate Fullerton.
Pate Fullerton, 2 swinging strikeouts today, but he's trying to reach here for the first time. And up and in, a little chin music for Pate Fullerton, the shortstop, as he just shakes it off. We're seeing a couple of those balls missed from Cheney Rogers, the left-handed pitcher. And low and away. 2-0 count. Broken bat down the first base line. Sullivan will take it himself. So 3 up, 3 down go the Chinooks. We'll be back in a moment for the top of the 7th to hear one final story as it's a 1-0 lead. The Chinooks leading the Bucs. Well, the final story we're going to tell you about is actually my story of what I did yesterday. My host family and I went down to Seward and got to catch some fish. And The one on the right, that giant fish, is one of mine. My family, not all of those fish are mine, but the big one on the right is one of ours, and it was a 90-pound halibut that I went and fished and caught and got to reel in. It took me about 10, 12 minutes just to reel it in, but just an awesome experience. Got to hang out with my host family, and it was just a blast. Big swing from Vanderbreak as he was trying to tie this ball game at one each, but he struck out in his last at bat back in the fourth, a single in the second to left field, and he's down in the count 0-1 now with a big swinging strike there. Next pitch from Joey Levitt's a pop-up on the infield, as it's the first baseman Daniel Freeman coming over. Will make the catch right in front of home plate. A good job by the first baseman. And so now that'll bring up the 7-hole Cole Tate. Cole Tate, every out today in his 2 at-bats has been to center field, a line out in the second, and then a fly out in the fifth. As the first out is retired on the fly out to first base. Levitt's first pitch is in the dirt. Try to work a changeup in there. It's ball 1. Off the end of the bat, shallow right field. And a few steps, it just carries as it'll be to Brandon Cody. Initially, it looked like it was going to be right behind second base of Mason Corbett for the Chinooks, but it carries back to right field, and Brandon Cody will make the second out on a fly out to right.
At the plate for the Bucs, number 14, Braxton Borfin.
Brings up Braxton Borfin, the second baseman. He has 2 swinging strikeouts today. 3 hits for the Bucs. 3 hits for the Chinooks, 4 for the Bucs. Looked as if in the 6th with the leadoff singles, the 2 back-to-back leadoff singles for Barrera and Castillo, that they were going to score and tie this ball game, but instead they do not. Next pitch is off the plate, 1-1 count, 2 outs. Taishi Nakawaki, the shortstop, on deck. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Bucs. May see him in the bottom of this inning. Big swing, strike 2. Levitt, 2 strikeouts already in the ball game. Picked up both last inning for the first and second outs of the 6th before getting a skied fly ball to left field for the third and final out. Wind up from Levitt, next pitch. Missing low, 2-2. Big looping 12-6 curveball from Levitt. And strike 3. Down for the third time swinging goes Borfin. And so that'll bring up back out the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks for their offense coming back out. It's 1-0 as 3 up, 3 down go the Bucs. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. It's chopped to second base. Mason Corbett is going to be out at first base on the first pitch he sees. And so that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Chinooks lead after getting the run across in the 5th, a sac fly from Brandon Cody that brought in Trevor Cho, who is currently up at the plate right now. Mason Corbett down for the second time today on the ground out to second. And the first pitch is a fastball on the outside part of the plate from Brody Jesse. Brody Jesse coming in for Cheney Rogers, who did not give up a run hit or attain a strikeout or a walk in the 1 inning he pitched in the 6th. Bunchon pulled back, ball 1. Just missing up. Good take by Trevor Cho, trying to bring in the third baseman, Cole Tate. Cho trying to reach here. Joe Brazil, a single ground ball to the first base side. Sullivan lays down on it. It's going to be a close play at first. And he is called out at first. Good hustle from Trevor Cho, as well as the pitcher, Brody Jesse. Just got there late, realized that Sullivan was not going to be able to take it himself. And so for the second time today, a hitter for the Chinooks has grounded out to first base on the flip to the pitcher. Joe Brazil, a strikeout in the 3rd and 3 pitches, and then in the 5th, a bunt single, just trying to move over Trevor Cho to second. And ball 1 is low and away. Sometimes a bunt can get you going offensively. After Joe Brazil got a single in his first at bat as a Chinook, he went 0 for 10 the next 10 at bats. Caps one just foul, up and out. 1-1 count, 2 outs.
By Edward Jones Financial Investments and Gavin Reed in Eagle River.
Brody Jesse started the 7th inning here, and that's ball 2 as it's blown away. Jesse gave up. Now the pop-up down the right field line. Sullivan underneath it, calls off, and is going to be called off by the second baseman, who makes the catch for the 3rd and final out, which is Borfin. And so 3 up, 3 down go the Chinooks. We're moving to the 8th inning as it's still a 1-0 lead. The Chinooks leading the Bucs. We'll be back in a moment. Well, the day for Taishi Nakawaki is done. It's Justin Cook who is going to be up here. No outs in the inning. And also coming in relief is Trevor McGee to pitch for Joey Levitt. Joey finished with 3 strikeouts, 2 hits given up, no runs, and no walks in just 2 innings of pitch. And a 2-0 count here, as it's still a 1-0 lead for the Chinooks. They're looking for 6 outs. On deck, the top of the order, Isaac Barrera. And that's a strike for the first one of the at-bat. Trevor McGee, actually in 2 innings of pitching on Wednesday, finished with 2 double plays turned by him in back-to-back innings. 3-1 count, the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a strike on the outer half. Trying to win the battle here. Side armor of Trevor McGee begins his windup. The 3-2 pitch, payoff pitch. Fouled down the right field line off the bat of Cook. Justin Cook coming out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and he'll work a walk. So that'll bring up the top of the order. Quick update for you. It's a 2-2 ball game for the Pilots facing off against the Oilers, and the Pilots, the Oilers, the Pilots got two runs in the past inning off of 6 walks. They do not have a hit yet, but all those walks brought them across. J. Paul Fullerton catching the ball outside his body. It's ball 1 to Isaac Barrera, who showed bunt. Joe Brazil at third base, playing in at third, and Barrera seeing it all the way here, the left fielder for the Bucs. He's trying to move the potential tying run into scoring position for the 2 and 3 holes. Pickoff attempt over as McGee tosses it to first. See if Justin Cook tries to take off. Another pickoff attempt, sliding over into first base is Cook. Cook plays at the University of Richmond, so one of the Spiders on the team in his junior year. Runner not going and no bunt shown. Ties the count up at 1-1. Warming up in the bullpen is, I believe, Hannes Kindreich, in his second year to be down here in the ABL. 1-1 pitch. No runner, missing low, 2-1. One of 2 Trevors on the team. Trevor Cho in left field and Trevor McGee coming out of Brea, California in his senior year at Arizona Christian University. No runner and chop to the first base side. Mason Corbett fields it, throws underhand to first base, and moving the runner over to second base safely, but a good job to keep it on the infield and get the out by Mason Corbett. Out to bring up the 2-hole Chad Castillo, who singled to left field in his last at-bat, had a line out to second base in the first, and then a ground out to second in the third.
Number 26, Chad Castillo.
Well, this is a big inning to try and get 2 more outs, not try and give up a run, as the tying run is at second base, 180 feet away. Pate Fullerton working him as the shortstop, trying to keep him close to the bag. Next pitch from McGee. Swung on and strike 1 to Chad Castillo. Trying to pull it between first and second. Mason Corbett out at second base, playing a little bit closer to second base. Not maybe relatively straight away, I guess you could say, as opposed to shading the left-hander. The 0-1 pitch. Misses away in the right-hander's batter's box. McGee pitched 2 innings on Friday and gave up 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Laced on the left field line, going to tail foul and onto the field, the other field behind us. We're surrounded by 3 baseball fields, not to mention Lee Jordan Field, named after the great Lee Jordan, just passed away earlier this year, right around the New Year's time. Might have actually been December 31st, but Lee was just a phenomenal man and is loved by everyone in this community, and his wife Barbara comes to all the games. All speed called for strike 3 as it tails back in, and some words said by Chad Castillo with the home plate umpire. What a pitch to get the second out and catch Castillo looking.
At the plate for the Bucs, number 27, Blake Paul.
Blake Paul, the right fielder, up next, who has 2 strikeouts swinging, one in his last at bat in the 6th, as well as a fly out to second base in the 4th, just behind the first base bag. First pitch to Paul is off the plate for ball 1. Be interesting to see if Brody Jesse is going to be still pitching when we come back in the bottom of the 8th. A 1-0 lead for the Chinooks. Only 7 hits in the ballgame, 4 for the Bucs, 3 for the Chinooks. Hit hard to right center field, going back and making the catch is Jess Davis as he's able to chase it down and rob Paul of a base hit and extra bases, bringing in with the potentially tying run. What a catch by Jess Davis. Had to chase it a long ways. We're going to the bottom of the 8th as the Chinooks try to add on to their 1-0 lead, and the Bucs are forced to their final 3 outs. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Jess Davis to lead things off after chasing down a potentially game-tying ball to the right center wall. He's able to catch it a few feet in right center. Ball up and in, ball 1. Brody Jesse back in. Was perfect last inning. 3 up, 3 down to get the Chinooks 7, 8, 9 hitters, but now he's got to face off against the top of the order. Jess Davis 1 for 2 today with a sac bunt. Smashes one to left center field. That's going to fall in. Jess Davis has some speed. He might be hustling around to try and get there. He is. He's going to try and make a run for it. Slides in safely with a leadoff double. As the ball was cut off, the left fielder picked it up in Isaac Barrera. Might have had a better chance trying to throw it all the way to get Jess Davis with his speed, and he's up with a leadoff double to put himself in scoring position, and Brandon Cody up next. Cody, a line out to left field, hit hard in the first, and then a strikeout in the third. Sac fly that brought in the only run in the ballgame thus far in the 5th. And we're currently here in the 8th, the bottom of it, with a runner on second base and Jess Davis, who just doubled. Up and inside. Brandon Cody moving out of the way for it, and both teams have 4 hits now. Chinooks with 2 extra base hits. The Bucs currently with 1. Jesse Davis, before entering in, 1 inning pitched here in the ABL. As he throws the next pitch low. Has a 45 earned run average after giving up 3 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned, 3 walks, and one has an 0-1 record. Only 1 double given up and just gave up his second. And that's a 3-0 count here to Brandon Cody. J. Paul Fullerton waiting patiently on deck. Honest Kindreich pausing his warm-ups down at the pitcher's mound in the bullpen. Jess Davis, a great jump. He'll slide in safely down the third baseline. What an incredible jump. You don't want to make the first out at third base, especially if it's an insurance runner, but just an incredible jump, and that is why he's in second place at the NCAA level with 48 stolen bases this year. Just an incredible jump there. Second stolen base. 3-1 count. Chop to the shortstop. Jess Davis will go back as Cody is going to be caught out at first base by a step. Fielded by Justin Cook, who was playing third base. Or excuse me, fielded by Braxton Borfman, who was playing third base earlier. Cole Tate moving over to play short. As Taishi Nakawaki came out at the beginning of this inning, and Justin Cook moved into third base. J. Paul Fullerton would like to put something in the outfield here, bringing in an insurance run, moving into the final inning. And the first pitch is low and away. Here in the 8th inning. Wind picking up a little, blowing out to right field and center. Next pitch draws a swing from Fullerton as he pulls out a little bit. Just trying to get something to the outfield, to prime position to bring in an insurance run with 1 out. Jess Davis doubled to lead off the inning and then stole third base on a 3-0 count to Brandon Cody. Shot down the first base line, and base hits. RBI single for J. Paul Fullerton comes for his first hit of the ABL. As he gets one right past first and second, and the Chinooks lead 2-0. First run scored by Jess Davis today.
Batting for the Chinooks, number 44, Daniel Freeman.
And an RBI single again for Fullerton makes it a 2-0 lead. Brings up Daniel Freeman, who's hit the ball hard in 2 of his 3 at-bats today. His first pitch is a lace single into left field. Trevor Cho. It goes underneath the glove of him, and the throw is over to third base. The slide in, and he's called out by the home plate umpire. And that's an interesting call. The tag was by Justin Cook on his heel. Ball was bobbled in left field. Daniel Freeman with the single advances on the throw, but the home plate umpire rings up Fullerton out at third base. So the second out made. Justin Cook laying down the tag, and a potential disaster on potential error by Isaac Barrera in left field will get the out at third base. Curveball is upstairs to Hayden Keller. Keller a double back in the 4th, but the only time he has been on via hit today. Hit down the first base line, just foul, past the glove of Sullivan. Hit hard. J. Paul Fullerton just out at third, and Daniel Freeman moving up to second. A base hit might bring in Fullerton, make it a 3-0 lead. 1 run already in in the inning. Jess Davis moved in from J. Paul Fullerton's single to right. Daniel working out at second. Retreats back. Hit to right field on the base hit. Daniel Freeman going to get waved around. Going to be a close play. It's sailing up, and he's out sliding into home. Daniel Freeman will actually give a hug to the catcher. A perfect throw from the right fielder, Blake Paw, and you're trying to bring in an extra run. But a great swing by Hayden Keller, who tries to bring in Daniel Freeman. He's out. So we move 2-0 into the final inning of play. The Chinooks need 3 runs. Or excuse me, the Chinooks need 3 outs, and the Bucs need 2 runs to tie it as Hannes Kindreit comes in relief to finish off this game. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Hannes Kindreit into pitch. And ball 1 misses low. He's in relief for Trevor McGee. Chinooks had a run last inning on Jess Davis doubling to lead off the inning, and then and then J. Paul Fullerton singling him in after Davis had stolen third base. Unfortunately for the Chinooks, they were thrown out at third and home for the second and third outs, but picked up 3 hits in the inning. 4 hits in the inning. Sullivan at the plate, and he's going to swing and lace one to center field off of Hannes Kindreit. And that's going to be a base hit to lead off the inning. Jess Davis gets it in. Sullivan with the single to center field. He's on for a second time today with a second hit, doubled in the 4th. The other 2 at-bats, he struck out. Shane Marshall up next. Has a walk, strikeout, and fly out to left field. High leg kick. Off speed, he did go around on the curveball for strike 1. Let's see if Sullivan will be leading here on a high leg kick if Hannes continues to do that. Big swing, strike 2, 0-2 count. Hannes Kindreit pitched 2 innings the other day on Friday. Pitched 3 innings, only gave up 1 hit in those innings, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. The 1 hit was a double. Blowing away, Sullivan staying put as it's blocked up by J. Paul Fullerton. A great slide over, 3/4 of the way on the right side of the left-hander's batter's box. Sullivan staying put again, and just missing. Not sure where, but 2-2 count, no outs. Must have missed a little up. And that'll be strike 3 looking, as for the second time, Shane Marshall will go down via strikeout, this time looking. Brings up Justin Vanderbrake, who singled in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth, and flew out to Daniel Freeman back in the seventh, right in front of home plate. He'll have an at-bat here with Hannes Kindreich. Cole Tate on deck. First pitch is popped up again on the first base side. Daniel Freeman over, and it's going to get up and out of play. Justin Vanderbrake coming out of Yakima, Washington, the 6'1", 190 sophomore from Tacoma Community College. Hannes Kindreich on the mound, going to step off. He's here as well, one of 4 players in their second year in the ABL for the Chinooks. And the pitch. Swung on, foul tipped back. A 2 count, 1 out. Kindreich looking for a second strikeout. Chinooks need 2 outs to finish off the ball game and take a 2-1 record. Hit hard to right field, and Brandon Cody going to let it fall in front of him. He'll make the catch and get it in, as that'll be the second single from Vanderbrake today, and Cole Tate up next, who is flown out 3 times today to the outfield. J. Paul Fullerton out for a meeting with Hannes Kindreich. Vanderbrake just waiting and poking one to right field. Cole Tate, the shortstop. 6 hits now for the Bucs, 2 in this inning. Braxton Borfin on deck. First pitch is strike 1 on the outer half. Cole Tate gives it a long look. Double play ends the ball game, and Chinooks would like to see it. Have a runner in scoring position for the Bucs out at second base on a single from Sullivan. Off-speed misses low and away, a 1-1 count. Flag in left center, just to the right of the scoreboard, has gone limp, showing there is no wind blowing currently. Ball should stay exactly where it's hit. And smashed down the right field line, going to tail foul to the bullpen of the Bucs. 1-2 count, 1 out. 2-0 lead for the Chinooks. Needing 2 more outs. And the changeup will strike him out looking, as it falls in at the top of the zone. May not have been where he wanted to pitch it, but it works in that case. And J. Paul Fullerton, I think, just reminded him, hey, you might not want to throw that one again. But it is the second out of the inning, and the first strikeout for the Chinooks pitcher, Hannes Kindreich. Excuse me, second strikeout for him, as the first out was made against Shane Marshall via a looking strikeout. Braxton Borfin, the second baseman. We'll take ball one, low and in. So Braxton Borfin steps in once again as the left-hander. I believe we have a pinch hitter because Braxton Borfin struck out 3 times today. Instead now, it is number 11, Caden Hobson. And strike 1 on the inner half, a 2-1 count, 2 outs. Good job by Hannes Kindreich. Trying to come back here, needing 1 out against the left-hander. Caden Hobson. They'll take low there. It's a 3-1 count, and Hannes Kindreich needing a big out. Justin Cook awaiting on deck. Walked in his only at-bat back in the 8th. Kindreich comes set. 3-1 count, 2 outs. The next pitch. Swung on, foul tip directly back. So runners will be on the move here with 2 outs and a full count. Kindreich looking for a third and final strikeout to end this ballgame and take a 2-0 win over the Bucs here at home. Pick up the first win here at home for the Chinooks this year. Fell in the home opener against the Glacier Pilots in 14 innings, 3-1. Not sure how many home openers for schools go that long into extra innings. And it's ball 4 at the eye level, so that'll be a walk, loads the bases, brings up the 9-hole Justin Cook. Still 2 outs in the inning, and no one warming up in the bullpen for the Chinooks. Got faith in Kindreich to get out of this one.
Number 29.
Cook has 5 hits in 13 at-bats this season, 4 runs. And the first pitch is a curveball that falls in for strike 1. Good pitch for Hannes Kindreich. Hannes coming out of Medford, Oregon, the 6'4", 230 junior from Biola University. Ties the most players on the team for the Chinooks with 3 from Biola University and 3 from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. The 2 others are his teammate who pitched earlier in the ball game, Joey Levitt, and then the third, as the next pitch is going to be up and inside, 2-1 count from Biola, is the junior Brandon Cody in right field currently. 2-1 from Hannes. Still a 2-0 ball game. The next pitch. Swung on, foul tipped back. Chinooks fans will get on their feet here as it's a 2-2 ball game, 2 outs. Fans are starting to stand up. You can hear the cheering in the background. Bases loaded. Hannes Kindreich looking for a big out. Looking for some help from his defense as well. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 2 singles in the inning. Swung on and laced to left field, going back Trevor Cho. It was a hanging curveball left up. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. There's going to be a play at the plate. Pate Fullerton's throw home, and 3 runs are in. A bases clearing double that puts the lead in the hands of the Bucs, 3-2, as Kindreich hung a curveball on the 2-2 count. That is 1 hop to the wall, and now with that, with 1 out left in the inning, the Bucs take the lead 3-2. 3 RBIs for Justin Cook in the top of the order. Isaac Barrera back up.
Batting for the Bucs, number 1, Isaac Barrera.
So now it's a 3-2 lead in favor of the Bucs here for Isaac Barrera up next. Strike one on the inner half. Chinooks will have to win it or tie it in grand fashion. And laced down the left field line, foul right off the top of the dugout. As Eau Claire will lay down on it and throw it back to the pitching coach, Chris Beck, on the third base dugout. 7 hits for both teams, and the biggest one of the game is Justin Cook out at second base, who came in. Pinch hit in the 8th inning as a walk and a double with 3 RBIs here in this inning, and has made it a 3-2 ball game. Next pitch is a ground ball to Mason Corbett at second. He'll field it, bobbles it, and that's going to be an error against Corbett. So the inning continues with runners on first and third. Went in and out of his glove, just a routine ground ball, but unfortunately for the Chinooks, that keeps the inning alive for the Bucs, and now Chad Castillo is up next. So 3-2 ball game, 1 error for either team now. Honest Kendrick just trying to get one more out here. Here in the 9th inning, giving up 3, and the Bucs have taken the lead. Good job by Fullerton behind the plate to keep it in front, as it skipped right off the turf behind home. An insurance run in Justin Cook, who produced the 3 RBI double down the left field line, is at third base, 90 feet away, trying to come in. Pickoff attempt over to first, nice and easy. Freeman catches it and sends a sliding Barrera back in safely. Barrera reaching on the ground ball error from Mason Corbett at second. Next pitch. Low and in the dirt. Fullerton blocks it up again. The throw down to second. His brother Pate Fullerton catches it. Not going to give it up there, trying to get an insurance run in, and instead going to just let him slide back in safely to first base. Barrera was trying to get in a rundown, bring in an extra runner in Justin Cook, but he does not there. Kendrick comes set. The delivery in the dirt's going to squeak by. A runner's coming in, and he's going to score. It's now 4-2 on the wild pitch, and now a 3-0 count to Chad Castillo. Chinooks in jeopardy now, as it's 4 runs given up here in the 9th inning of dropping a second straight game, and going to have to score 2 in the bottom of this inning just to keep it tied. And that's going to be a pitch hit to right field on the single. Brandon Cody picks it up. The throw home to try and get him. It's going to be cut off by Daniel Freeman on the 3-0 pitch that was laced to right field. And so Chad Castillo picks up an RBI single that brings in Isaac Barrera, and it's a 5-2 lead for the Bucs. Castillo with the 3-0 count, giving the sign that he can hit away, and now it brings up Blake Paw. And the appeal to third base that he stepped off, and Chinooks trying to get everything they can just to get an out here, but now with a runner on first base and a 5-2 lead, Chinooks are down in the count here with their backs against the wall. Pops it up on the first pitch on the infield. Mason Corbett is going to get called off. Interference, but still called safe. Pate Fullerton sticking with it. And he will make the third out as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. 5 runs given up on the big hit from Justin Cook that tripled down the left field line that cleared the bases, and now it's 5-2. The Chinooks look to respond down 3 runs. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball. Well, unfortunately for the Chinooks, they gave up 5 runs in the 9th inning, the final inning of play. Hit hard to right center field, going back. Pate Fullerton still going, and that's going to fall in. Extra bases. Pate Fullerton still going. He's going to hold up at second base with a leadoff double. Brody Jesse throwing 1 pitch, gives up a double to Fullerton with a little life here, trying to get the 3-run deficit back as the Chinooks are currently down to the Bucs of Anchorage, both teams with 8 hits. But 5 runs given up, a big inning-killing, game-killing Justin Cook double that cleared the bases in the inning. Ball off the plate, Mason Corbett up next. An error as well that just caused the Chinooks to stumble for a moment. They've got some life here. They're trying to come from behind here and get the victory. It's 5-2. Pate Fullerton leading the way now with the double to lead off the inning. And foul tipped back behind home plate. Trevor Cho, the left fielder, over to retrieve it. Today, Mason Corbett looking for his first hit as he's the best hitter coming into today with the highest batting average on the team. Big swing and would have been ball 3, but ties the count up at 2-2. Brody Jesse coming set. And his delivery home as he gives a couple checks to Fullerton. Smashed to second base, but fielded and thrown over to first for out number 1 as Fullerton moves over to third to bring up Trevor Cho. And Joe Brazil moves up on deck.
Number 9, Trevor Cho.
Cho today has walked back in the 5th and scored the first run of the ball game and flown out and grounded out. Ball one, up and away off the pitch from Brody Jesse. Fullerton out at third base. Corbett hit it hard, just directly at the second baseman. Chlorfish, who made the play. Quick update for you for the Pilots game after this next pitch. Chop down the first base side. The second baseman fields it, Borfin, and he'll throw to first for the out. So 2 quick outs, 1 run is in. It's 5-3 for the Chinooks, but Joe Brazil going to have to do it with 2 outs. Pilots lead 3-2 over the Oilers, and they have yet to get a hit. It's been a bunch of walks that have brought them into leading the game.
At the plate for the Chinooks, number 8, Joe Brazil.
Back-to-back groundouts to second base for the first 2 outs, and now the Chinooks down to their final out as it's ball one up and in. And ball two is away. Top of the order, Jess Davis on deck. He's 2 for 3 today with a sac bunt and a run scored. Bucs do have a right-hander warming. And inside, ball 3. 3-0 count. If Brazil can get on, you bring the tying run to the plate in Davis. And the next pitch, way outside, ball 4. So we will have the tying run come to the plate with Davis. Brandon Cody up next. Coach for the Bucs runs out to the mound, likely not making a pitching change here. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Anchorage Bucs. That is Robert Hamby, sophomore from Winthrop University and hometown of DeMorris, Georgia. Tallest player on the team at 6'6". Right behind him is a 6'4" first baseman. And runner going with the stolen base is Joe Brazil. The 4th stolen base we've seen from the Chinooks today. Davis taking a strike. Time granted to Davis as well. He'll step out. Hit hard to second base, but made by Barofin, and so the Chinooks will lead the game for the majority of it, but they fall in the 9th inning after giving up 5 runs. It's 5-3. The Bucs defeat the Chinooks. Join us tomorrow as the Oilers will travel here to Lee Jordan Field to face off against the Chinooks. At 7 o'clock, I'm Josh Salem, and it's been a pleasure calling the game for you today. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be with you again. So long from the Chinooks baseball.